in that game, but they are also coming off a game. So both teams maybe a little tired after playing a match already today, but the Hawkeyes will start off with the opening point, a kill off of the tip ball at the net. Henley Moskowicz, true freshman, will check out. She had the nod to start in this second game. Helped out get the first point. Bulatovic, another freshman, with the serve for Iowa. Punched at the net, a block attempt from Peyton Young falls short, and Indian Hills is on the board.
As Ayato here on this close side of the court to us, just light tap on the ball, enough to score Indian Hills' first point.
Here's a chance for Stepanida. She's denied at the net. Indian Hills resets. They set up right side. Set up for Young. Big swing, and it drops in. Right in front of Anna Silva, the true freshman.
Absolutely powerful kill for the Hawkeyes. Now serving, we're going to see Emily Levin.
Hawkeyes going with a different rotation here in game two. Set up far side for Hoshlick, and it will find the back corner.
Again, great ball placement. Indian Hills thought that one was going out of bounds. Nope, Hawkeye is able to keep the ball on the court.
Silva sets it up for Ito. Hawkeyes keep it up. Chance for Hoshlick. Swing from Nelson is denied. A 3-point lead for the Hawkeyes.
Nelson tried to get that back over the net. Nelson, Atkins, Iowa native, went to school at Benton Community High School. Was one of those players that was named to the all-regional team that you mentioned earlier.
Tipped over by Powell. Wind up in a swing from Gabby Deary, the senior from Burlington, Iowa. Here's a chance for Piper Nelson. She picks up the kill on the tip ball.
And the former Bobcat, as you mentioned, getting the kill. Shout out Benton Community, showing work on the court.
Aislinn Powell back to serve, the Conference Player of the Year. Big swing from Peyton Young, and the sophomore's on the board with a kill. Peyton Young, just a sophomore from Hoffman, Illinois. Appeared in just 7 matches in the fall. Had a big game against East Texas A&M with 3 kills. Set up on the right side, tipped at the net. Back again, strong side for the Hawkeyes, and Rishka Hoshelic picks up another kill. And this is another Hawkeye that Jim Barnes was pretty high on taking a step forward and potentially pushing for a starting spot in the fall.
Well, she's certainly getting the premises started here in spring ball. A couple of great plays, good digs, and a kill that we saw in that last play. As we see a service error there from Peyton Young. Service will now go over to Indian Hills, and this is Ayana Ito.
Set up, tipped at the net by Lamau. Big swing and a kill for Piper Nelson. Indian Hills back within 2.
Great setup, cross-court kill, finds that back corner. Piper Nelson, the sophomore, getting a couple kills here early in this first set.
Ayana Ito's serve too strong, and Iowa retains possession. This is going to be a big season for Indian Hills, trying to get back and make 5 straight national tournament appearances. But with the number of all-region returners, you got to feel pretty good if you're a Warriors fan about what this volleyball team could do in the fall.
Oh, absolutely. And coming in as a 16 seed to the national tournament last year, as we see a block there by the Hawkeyes. you definitely want to improve, maybe get a better seeding, so that way, you're not taking on the #1 team. I mean, of course, anyone can be beaten on any given day, but it's a tougher task to take on the #1 seed than it is, say, a #5 seed.
Set up with a block, kept up, and good recovery by the Hawkeyes. Bulatovic finds the back corner.
The freshman coming in, they thought they had it, but great placement. You're going to be hearing me say that a lot today because the Hawkeyes are doing an absolutely stellar job of it.
Well, you got to give credit to Indian Hills for even keeping that ball alive as they dig from Moskowicz. Keeps it up, and the Hawkeyes strike again.
Bulatovic. Similar to how we saw with Carmel Vares in the first game against Drake, not needing a whole lot of power to, drive the ball home and get points for the Hawkeyes.
Moskowitz back to serve again for the Hawkeyes. Big swing from Ito kept up. Left side tipped into the air by Hashlik. Again for Piper Nelson. Set up right side this time for Rumpel. Big swing and out of play. Hoshilik starting to ratchet up and pick up a lot of kills here in this second game in this first set.
It's all right. We'll chalk it up to early morning.
Yeah, I needed some breakfast. Didn't have enough time getting over here. Blocked at the net by the Hawkeyes. Here's another chance for Nelson. Good dump by Bulatovic. Excuse me. True freshman from Elwood Park, Illinois. Jim Barnes letting the young guns play here in this second game. Lamau keeps it in. Dumped over by Silva. Back row swing from Stepanitis is too strong.
And the Warriors have been going over to Nelson's side a lot, as we're going to see her take service. She averaged 2.66 kills per set so far in her career with the Warriors.
Set up this time for Rumpel. She just tips it. It's going to be a point for the Hawkeyes. Back row attack from, I believe that was Anna Silva who got tabbed with it. On the attacking error, 13-5 Hawkeyes in the driver's seat, in control. Hoshilik back to serve again. Hoshilik appeared in just 7 matches in the fall. Posted 7 digs, 5 kills, and 1 ace. So not a lot to go off of based off her fall stats. But Jim Barnes praising her for taking big steps in the offseason and taking advantage of these spring games. The Hawkeyes have already played, 5 spring games? And the fact that Jim Barnes is bringing her up without us prompting to talk about her, it's got to say something about the steps she's taking.
Yes, Bulatovic getting the block. Hawkeyes are they're running with this one. First 20 points, scoring 15 in the first 20 points. But, I mean, with not having a deep bench, has got to be tough for Indian Hills to combat this onslaught.
And trying to keep it up, Piper Nelson did. In the game yet in game 2, but last season led the team in blocks, and she was a big part of the win earlier today against Drake. And that's a point for the Hawkeyes.
Doing more kills than blocks in that first game against Drake, but still contributing to the success of the team and getting points for the Hawkeyes regardless.
It doesn't look like we're going to see many of the individuals who helped the Hawkeyes in that first one, as a service ace is called. Mariska Hoshilik. She might end the game back there. I mean, her serves have been pinpoint and very strong. As I say, that goes over the back line. But still, you can hear them from all the way over here. We're on the other side of the court, not the scorer's table, and it sounds like a cannon going off when she makes connection with the volleyball.
That's just a testament to the power that she has when she gets back to that service line.
Set up for Polaska. Tipped into the air. Silva sets it up for Luana Silva, but it's tipped into the air and it'll drop on the side.
Stepanidis getting the block on that one.
19-6. Jamie Marquardt back to serve. Tipped over by Luana Silva, and she finds some paint. That'll work.
It'll do it. You know, one of the things I've seen so far from all teams has been, you know, less is more sometimes. The light touches just to find the paint. It's all about scoring points.
Anna Silva with the serve. Climbs the ladder, but too strong. Allie Stepanidis trying to pinpoint that back line. But again, just a little too strong. And Indian Hills back within 11. Trying to go on a run. Ana Luisa back to serve. Sets it up for Stepanidis. Back row attack from Nelson that drops. A 10-point game in the opening set.
Nelson, as a sophomore, she'll be going into her junior year come fall. Second on the team in kills for the Warriors with 322 kills. And she's been a power hitter so far for Indian Hills today.
Great dig on the back row by Nelson. Stays alive. Stepanidis denied. She reloads. Dug out by Powell. Over by Polonska. Set up back row, tipped into the air by Hoshalik. Polonska gets it tipped at the net. Polonska sends it over again. Good volley. Indian Hills keeping it alive. Polonska reloads. She's denied. Great digs by Aislinn Powell throughout that entire volley, but ultimately it's the Hawkeyes who come away with the point.
That was great volleyball play. Good just ball movement by both teams, keeping it alive. But like you said, Hawkeyes getting the point.
Latovic back to serve. Set up for Silva. Goes back row hunting. Stepanidis tries it herself. Set up far side for Polonska. Again for Hoshalik. Back for Polonska. She goes back row, but it goes over the back line. (21-9) Hawkeyes.
That's got to be tough for Polonska. Has the power. Looked like she had good placement. Just couldn't get it in the paint.
Long attempt there from Powell. Ito able to get it over, but couldn't keep it up. 22-9. This quote-unquote second line, I guess you could say, for the Hawkeyes that are playing the majority of this second game. Done a good job, especially on their serves.
Absolutely. They've been absolutely killing it from the service line.
Set up for Ito. Denied at the net. Peyton Young and Gabby Deary over there to combine for the block.
Goes back to that height and just being aware, good court awareness from Young and Deary there to get the block.
Latovic, another strong serve, long run, kept in play. It's going to be tough to make that one work. Piper Nelson did all she could after the long run from Polonska just to keep that ball in the air. Nearly went off the court.
Set point now for the Hawkeyes.
Latovic has done a great job from behind the service line. A true freshman.
That'll do it.
And yeah, that will do it. A set point, and the Hawkeyes take set one. The true freshman. Many of the athletes couldn't make it on this trip to Iowa City. Silva drops the hammer, and Indian Hill strikes first in the second set.
After being outscored 25-9 in the first set, Indian Hills gets a taste of their first lead here in set number 2.
Anna Silva back to serve. Set up far side for Gabby Deary. Great dig by Nelson. Tipped at the net, but it is sent back by the Hawkeyes. It will be a net violation, and the Hawkeyes pick up their first point.
Like you said, that was a great dig from Piper Nelson. Able to be everywhere at once.
Emily Lavin back to serve. Redshirt junior from Brookfield, Wisconsin. Appeared in just 12 matches in the fall. And that one drops in for a kill. Gabby Deary picks up another. Deary's been in and out of the starting lineup for the last few seasons, but just last year appeared in only 9 matches. Tallied 23 kills. But over the previous 2 seasons, combined to play in 47 matches. And she continues to fight for another starting gig with the Hawkeyes.
These broadcasts.
All right, we're all cleaned up. 2-1 Hawkeyes, back to live action. Emily Lavin with the serve. Tipped at the net, sent back by the Hawkeyes. Ito loads up and she's denied. Falls out of play, so it's tied at 2. Good serve from Polonska. Back row attack from Polonska. That'll hit the net. It's 3-2 Hawks.
Just a couple inches away from getting it over. Got to get a better placement on the ball. And now Peyton Young will serve for the Hawkeyes.
Into the net, tied at 3. That was a question you asked Jim Barnes in our coaches meeting, is working on the service on both sides, the service receive, and of course trying to clean up the serves in general. Had some good things to say there.
Absolutely. He's very excited about where the service game is heading for the Hawkeyes. But he did say the adjustment needed would be the service return game. And the Hawkeyes, though, they've done a pretty solid job today against Drake and Indian Hills about good service return.
Set up for Deary. Dug out by Polonska. Ito punches it over. Good recovery from the Hawks. Hoshalik picks up a kill. Mariska Hoshalik continues to show out in game 2. Able to drop it in front of Polonska.
Ana Silva almost went soccer there. I mean, I know she's a Brazilian native. Second nature to her.
Denied at the net, kept alive by Nelson and hit over by Ito. Sent back, an attack attempt from McKenna Rumpel. Long run for Powell. She gets there. Nelson over. Wind up at a swing for Hoshalik. Bumped into the air. That will fall out of play. Hoshalik with the kill that time. We've seen a lot of good digs from Indian Hills to keep volleys alive. Give them a chance to get on the board as they kept this second game close, or the second set close, I should say. A service error ties it up again at 5.
Got to make sure you keep it close with a team like Iowa, as we saw in the first set, and we also saw again in the Drake game, as we see a great dig there.
An even better swing from Hoshalik. Mariska Hoshalik taking over this second set.
Absolutely, but like I was trying to say, you can't let Iowa get on a run, because when Iowa gets on a run, they are extremely dangerous.
Now Hoshalik goes back to serve. She had some pretty nasty ones in the first set. Silva sets up Piper Nelson. But into the net, another point for the Hawkeyes. They're going on a run, creating some space.
And Hoshalik, being the server right now, is key. We saw her great serves in the first set, and so far she's keeping it going here in set number 2.
Into the net.
The announcer jinx has hit us both today, and that's all right.
It's both been when Marichka's back there serving. We apologize, Marichka and family.
Yes, put the blame on us. It's all right.
Piper Nelson back to serve. Nice dig, but a long run. Hoshalik can't get there. Great job by Indian Hills. They've tied it again.
Love the, aggression to try to go after it and keep that ball alive.
Caroline Lamau. Yeah, Caroline Lamau, though, for Indian Hills, able to get up there for the block. They go for it again. This time it falls on the side of the Warriors.
It's McKenna Rumpel getting the kill for the Hawkeyes. Now Marquardt. She'll be going into her senior or junior year, I believe, from Libertyville, Illinois.
Great dig. Another point for the Hawks, tipped at the net. Now Jamie Marquardt going into her junior year, battling for that libero spot for the Hawkeyes. Another spot that Jim Barnes is still has a big question mark in that position. He's got about 5 different athletes he could put there, but it's which one's going to pull away from the rest and be the true starter. Kept alive by Moskowitz, and Iowa recovers.
Great recovery there from the Hawkeyes to keep that ball alive.
And a thunderous swing by Peyton Young. Iowa's got a stacked middle lineup, but Peyton Young trying to force her way into the conversation.
Absolutely. And that was just good all-around play from Iowa. It started with the recovery, and then it ends with, as you mentioned, the thunderous kill from Peyton Young.
They'll set it up this time for Stepanidis, and she picks up another kill.
I think this is Iowa's longest run so far of this set. Was previously they would get a couple points. Indian Hills would answer back with 1.
A 4-point lead, long run. Powell gets there. Bumped over by Polonska. Peyton Young goes over. Back row swing from Nelson, tipped at the net. Sets it up, it's hit over by Hoshalik. Great dig by Marquardt and bumped over by Moskowitz. Set up for Polonska, kept alive by Marquardt. Set up again, this time for Stepanidis. She is denied, and the Warriors fight for that point and come out on top.
Great fight shown by both sides, but it's the block by Lamau that gets the Warriors the point.
Too strong on the serve following. But Indian Hills certainly put the pressure on the Hawkeyes in that last point. Marquardt did everything she could to keep that set or that point alive. A couple of great digs, but ultimately the Warriors, the big block at the end, got the point. Silva sets it up for Polonska. She has to tip it over. Gabby Geary sends it right back. A diving attempt by Powell, but it comes up short.
And Powell, she has put her body on the line here for Indian Hills in this match.
Well, she's been the firecracker trying to spark something on the Warrior side of things. They set it up for Lido. Sent over by Stepanitis. Back row swing from Nelson, can't find the corner. She's had a lot of good looks, Piper Nelson has, from that back row. It's a little too strong. Nikolia Bulatovic back to serve. Another one that goes over the back line.
And Indian Hills has already matched their score from the first set, but they've kept Iowa a lot closer here in set number 2 than they did in that first set.
Still a 5-point lead. Set up left side for Deary. They go Polonska over the line. Stepanitis just tips it over. Powell laid out for it, but came up just behind it. And the Hawkeyes take a 6-point lead.
Emily Lavin coming in. She'll serve now for the Hawkeyes. She comes in for Haley Stepanitis.
Good attempt by Indian Hills. Emily Lavin, redshirt junior, appeared in just 12 matches in the fall. Attempted 57 serves. She's a specialist behind the service line. And you can see why. A bullet to the other side. Ito able to get up and send it back. Peyton Young sends it right back. Powell keeps it up. Bumped over by Polonska. Set up for Young again. Watch out below. Peyton Young leaving dents in the court.
When she swings that arm, you know it's going to be powerful and thunderous. Peyton Young picking up another kill for the Hawkeyes.
Keeps Lavin behind the service line. Polonska's denied. Keeps it up, though. Ito with 2 hands sends it over.
I say double hit. That'll be a point for Iowa. Timeout, Indian Hills.
2 today. Jim Barnes needs just 2 wins once the regular season comes around for his 500th win in his coaching career. And what a big milestone that would be next season, as out of the timeout, Oshelik picks up another block.
She's been all over the court for the Hawkeyes here in this second game of 3 for Iowa.
That'll send Lavin back behind the line. Long run, not going to get there. It finds the front row of seats. A service ace for Emily Lavin. We said it earlier, she's a service specialist. 57 serves last year. Ito, too strong. Ito's been pretty good for Indian Hills throughout this game, or throughout this match, I should say. That time, just a little bit too much on it. Was falling backwards and just had the wrong angle.
Well, it's also hard to get the right angle and the right power when you have 3 Hawkeye defenders staring you down.
Deary with a strong attempt. Back row hit, kept up. Left side swing, kept in by Piper Nelson. Might have gone over the back line, but it'll be a kill for Marichka Hoshelik.
Like we said, Hoshelik, she can dig, she can help assist, but she has been helping the Hawkeyes out with these kills.
Lavin sends a knuckler over the net. Tipped over, dug out by Marquardt. Again for Ito. Hoshalik finds another kill.
Piper Nelson tried to get a dig in the backcourt, as we see here on the replay, but I think it hit in the net, just kind of messed up the timing on that dig.
23-9. The Hawkeyes have taken full control in this second set, but Emily Lavin will finally come out from behind the service line as she put a little too much on it. She was back there for a long time.
Indeed she was. But that's what you kind of want to see from your service specialist.
Hoshalik denied. Kept up by Lavin. This time for Nelson. Kept up. Indian Hills sets it up for Ito. She's denied at the net. Hit over by Powell. Set up for Peyton Young. Kept up by Louisa. Ito again denied. Bumped over by Silva. Deary winds up. Nelson is denied. 24-10. Gabby Deary with the rejection.
Absolutely great way to get up and to just reject that kill attempt from Piper Nelson. Now we're at set and match point for the Hawkeyes.
Great serve by Young. Sent up right side for Ito. And she fights through the front line of Hawkeye defenders to keep this match alive. Still match point as Aislinn Powell will go back to serve for the Warriors.
Long way to go to try to get back into this one, but good volleyball could have the Warriors right there. But
Deary will end it.
No need.
Gabby Deary picks up the second win for the Hawkeyes today as they sweep Indian Hills in 2 sets. It was the Marit